I know usually I have a little comedy intro from, whoever I think is funny, but, um, I don't know, my fucking recording equipment, shit the bed when I was trying to, record a little comedy bit for you, so I decided I'm gonna go without it. This is the effing podcast. For those of you that, I don't know, why do I always say this? I mean, obviously you know what podcast you're listening to, unless you happen to be, I don't know, sitting next to somebody sharing an earbud, and they're listening to the podcast, and you're like, hey, who is this guy? This is the effing podcast. I do a couple of these a week, although during the summer, it's been kind of fucking sporadic. That's usually because, well, I've explained this a million fucking times. I've got kids. They're on, summer break, so it's hard to find some alone time or quiet time. They happen to be out with their aunt, so I'm doing a podcast. But yeah, I really should have started this a little bit stronger. I don't know. I know that last week, or the last podcast, was that last week? I was introducing a new segment called, I don't even know. I don't remember what I call it. Like the cunty shit I say on Twitter. That's probably like the third different title I've given it. I won't be doing that this week, mostly because my account was suspended for quite a while. Apparently it's not okay to fucking call for Elon Musk to get his ass kicked. I mean, they gotta be a little bit more, I don't know, like they gotta explain the rules. Right, because I see some pretty horrific shit on Twitter, but then, it seems to be sort of hit or miss. I know that everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people, think Elon Musk is this fucking fantastic guy. In my opinion, he's a huge fucking douche. Who really should, He needs to get his ass kicked. Same thing with Jeff Bezos and, pretty much all of the fucking millionaires and billionaires out there. I think what is seriously lacking in a lot of these people, in their personalities or whatever, is the fact that they just haven't had their ass kicked. Maybe ever, or at least in a long time. Because, I mean, when you're a billionaire, you can have top flight security, fucking Mike Epps and Ice Cube. You can have fucking you can have security around you, but you can't tell me that these guys are there's never an opportunity for somebody to just smack the shit out of them, because they seriously fucking need it. I mean, Jeff Bezos, and let me be clear here, I'm not fucking advocating people go out and hurt other people. I'm just saying that they really could use a fucking ass kicking. Jeff Bezos, I mean, he treats his employees like shit. He's, they're calling him the richest man in the world, but they're, kind of dismissing or not counting, whichever fucking way you want to look at it. They're dismissing the people in the Middle East, the fucking princes and shit with all the oil money. I'm pretty sure, compared to the amount of money they have, Jeff Bezos is, like he's got chump change in comparison to them. So, but he treats his employees like shit. I've told the story many times on this podcast, but I'll tell it once more that, like a year or two ago, maybe more, his employees were, complaining of the heat in the warehouses. and a lot of them were passing out and needed to be taken to the emergency room. Jeff Bezos, the reason that they were passing out is because they don't have air conditioning. So Jeff Bezos decided that instead of installing air conditioning, it would be much more cost effective to just have an ambulance ready outside the facility, in case somebody passes out. The guy is a fucking monster. He needs his ass kicked. And I wish somebody would do it. Even if it's somebody that's, his security. Can somebody just please just beat the dog well, no, I don't want to say that because it sounds like I'm advocating it. I'm just saying that it couldn't hurt, but I don't know. But so anyway, I had my account suspended, although I made that I posted that tweet like, I don't know, a month or two ago, but it finally caught up to me. So they suspended me. My account has been reinstated, but it's been nice not really being on Twitter. So even though my account has been reinstated, I haven't tweeted. So I'm trying to avoid it as long as possible. I mean, there's I don't go on it as much. I might take a look every now and then to see what's going on, but I've been saying that shit for quite some time on this podcast that I need to get away from Twitter. And it seems like Twitter is kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like quitting smoking cigarettes, I guess. You want to fucking quit. Right? You try it a bunch of fucking different times, but sooner or later you get that fucking craving, to call somebody a cunt. And and I've tried it numerous times, and I've been unsuccessful. This has been, aside from when my account was like suspended for like a couple of weeks, this has been the first time where my account's not suspended anymore, but I haven't gone back on. So I'm trying to make the break. I will still post, my podcast. If for those of you that, are fan or, follow me on Twitter or, saw this on Twitter, I'll still be posting my podcast there, but I'm pretty much going to try my best to just not post there, Twitter is unnecessary anyway. For the longest time I was trying to convince myself that, I don't get my news from Twitter, but you kind of get a sense of, how people feel. And, it's just, I don't know. I realized I was just lying to myself. I was trying to convince myself that there was a legitimate reason to continue with that fucking shit show. And the reality is I don't need Twitter for any of that shit. I have my regular news sources, ones that I trust. They're not mainstream media. I don't know. You guys don't give a shit about this, but to make a long fucking story short, if it's even possible for me to do that, because I haven't been on Twitter, I haven't said, some things that would be worthy of the cunty shit that I say segment. So, I don't know. I guess I could go back in the archives, but I've already talked about it a little too much right now, so I'm not going to bother. Maybe the next podcast I'll go into the archives of shit that I've said, because I'd have to say there's no shortage of material there. I would say the average of cunty shit that I've said in comparison to things that, are not so much is, I don't know, like 1,000 to 1. But, anyway, fuck. What did I want to talk to you guys about? I don't want to talk about politics. That's one of the beauties of being away from Twitter is just the politics isn't. I mean, I'm still aware of what's going on in the world, but I'm just, I'm less enthusiastic about talking about it. Oh, you know what? I know what I wanted to fucking talk about. The fact that we have an inundation of ass now. Now you might be wondering what do you mean by that? I said, well, what I mean is like if you're on Instagram, you know that about 90% of the photos on Instagram or video clips or whatever that are on there are of fucking women shaking their ass, or they're posing in their, they're fucking, basically the focal point is their ass. And I feel like, a long time ago I used to really, because I consider myself an ass man, if you want to call it that. I love a nice ass. And I remember a long time ago, a nice ass was it was kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. Just you'd see it every fucking now and then, but it wouldn't be everywhere. And when you would see one, it would fucking feel special. You'd be like, wow, my life has been enhanced by being able to view such a wonderful thing. But nowadays it's like, if you want to look at an ass, it's just it's a click away. And being that, I would say probably about 75 to 80% of the asses that are on Instagram and other places are all enhanced. They're not fucking natural asses. It's just, I don't know, the fucking thrill is gone. It's just, we have an oversupply of ass. And, I'm just, I mean, I might stand alone here. I might be the lone wolf on this topic, but I feel like, can we just stop with all the fucking ass shots, and the twerking? I mean, that just fucking disgusts me at this point anyway, and I don't care who's doing it. There's nothing appealing about it. It's just, I mean, it was when twerking first showed up, it was like, wow, look at those skills. Look at her ability to jiggle the fucking cellulite in her ass. That is fucking amazing. But now it's just like, ugh. It kind of reminds me of, those fucking inflatable floating guys that you see at like fucking when like a car dealership or whatever. Like, when you first saw one, you were like, oh wow, that's fucking, look at that. That's kind of fucking cool to look at. But now it's just like, you just fucking avoid it. Or you don't avoid it. You're just like, oh, they must be having a sale. Who gives a fuck? I don't know. That's how I see the whole fucking ass shaking thing. Hold on a second. I have to attend to something really quickly, although it won't feel like I'm gone for very long because I'm going to hit pause and then I'm going to come right back and it'll feel like just a split second of quiet. So hold on one second. Be right back. All right, I'm back. I don't even know how long I was gone. What the hell was I talking about? Fucking asses, right? That I don't know. I'm fucking tired of it. It's like, I don't know. It's like ice cream, right? Ice cream is great, when it's hot, maybe after dinner, at a fancy restaurant or something. Ice cream is tasty, but if every single day you have ice cream, I mean, assuming that you're not a fat fuck, eventually you're not going to be as excited about the ice cream, It's going to feel more like, fucking ice cream again? Can we switch it up every now and then? Maybe instead of ice cream, I don't know, have some fucking carrots. It's just, I'm fucking, I don't know. I probably stand alone here, but I just feel like it's not special anymore. Everybody seems to have an ass now. Although the weird thing is that you only see this online. Walking around, I don't see it very often. And I don't know if it's just where I live or whatever. Like, I don't see these asses. So I have to assume that, it's fucking smoke and, was it smoke and mirrors? Is that what they call it? But yeah, so I'm tired. I'm tired of all the fucking twerking videos. I'm tired of, watching somebody, or some woman fucking doing squats. Especially when you can tell that the ass is 100% fucking, fake as fuck. Like, why are you pretending like you fucking did, 10,000 fucking squats and that's how you got that ass? I mean, it's so fucking obvious that it's not real. Wasn't there like a guy, like he was like the fucking ass man of fucking, of LA or some shit? Didn't he just get arrested because, I don't know, like did somebody fucking die? Did he kill somebody? I can't remember. But the weird thing is that it's not even like an unusual occurrence for these types of fucking surgeries and shit. They're not really surgeries, they're like fucking injections, but it's not unusual to every now and then you hear about, some girl fucking dying because, the doctor fucking didn't know what he was doing or cut corners or some fucking shit. And you would think that would be a pretty good deterrent. Like, I think I read one time that some doctor, like or I don't even know if they're a doctor. But like the girl fucking wanted, a big gigantic ass, and the person that injected her, fucking like injected, cement or some shit. You would think that would be a deterrent against doing that shit, but I don't know. I don't know about people anymore. I don't know. What the fuck should we talk? You know what I'm fucking sick of? Cause like I have tattoos. I'm becoming a tattoo artist myself. So I watch a lot of, there's lots of fucking videos on YouTube, of just people that have been tattooing for a while. Like, I want an idea about people's techniques and shit like that. And I keep fucking coming across these fucking douchey videos where it's like, things not to say to your fucking tattoo artist, or things not to fucking say to somebody that has tattoos. Who are these douchey fucking people? If somebody doesn't have a tattoo and they're fucking curious and they really don't know anything about it, of course they're going to come in with, with fucking questions that you've answered a gazillion fucking times, or maybe they're stupid fucking questions or whatever. I mean, there's just some, there's some degree of, you got to understand that the people that are looking to get a tattoo and it's their very first one, a lot of them have no idea what they're in for. I remember like the first time I got a tattoo was the first time I'd even seen like a tattoo gun. Like, I had no idea how they put on I mean, I had some degree of an idea, but I wasn't fully aware, and when they had they don't really call it a tattoo gun, but the tattoo machine, when I saw it, I was just like, like that looks fucking, it looks weird. It looks like, I don't know. Tattoo machines, a lot of them look like what you would imagine guys in prison would have. But it just, I don't know, like those kinds of fucking videos, just like, are you that much of a fucking douche that you got to make a video and like, oh, please don't fucking ask me if it's gonna hurt, I mean, how long you been doing tattoos? I haven't been doing, I haven't been fucking trying that long, and I already know, I mean, well, I have tattoos, so I already know that they can fucking hurt. But if, when I start tattooing other people, if somebody asks me if it's gonna fucking hurt, I'm not gonna be like annoyed, like, oh, how could you not fucking know? It's just stupid shit like that. And then the other ones was like, oh, don't fucking, or things to not ask somebody with a tattoo. I see a lot of it is like, oh, don't ask what it means. I'm kind of on the fence with that one, because not every tattoo that a person gets like means something. It could be that you just thought it was fucking cool and you put it on, and and I know that that because of like shows like LA Ink. or Miami Ink. or whatever, that they've sort of romanticized this idea that that the people that get tattoos always have like this fucking origin story of like, oh, well, when I was young, my dad fucking hoisted me up on his shoulders, and and he used to point at the fucking I don't know, the road signs, and well, he had cancer, and well, I want to get a road, like, I know that they've romanticized that part of it. So that's why people without tattoos think that everybody that has a fucking tattoo is doing it because there's like some sort of like mystical fucking meaning behind it. I mean, I could understand why somebody might get a little irritated with everybody asking like, oh, what does that mean? But at the same time, you kind of have to understand that these, tattoos have been romanticized now, and everybody has, at least if they have no connection to sort of tattoo culture, if such a thing fucking exists, and their only exposure is these TV shows, of course they're going to think that, that fucking, I don't know. I mean, I have fucking a full sleeve on my left arm, and it's of a octopus. It's done in like Japanese fucking style. It doesn't fucking mean shit. I thought it would be cool. I like the full sleeve look. I wanted something that, I didn't want like a fucking koi fish or, I don't know. I didn't want something that everybody else fucking has. So I went with an octopus. I like my fucking tattoo, but it has, there's no meaning behind it. There's no origin story. I thought it looked cool. So I got it fucking done, But, where was I going with this shit? Basically, I don't know. Just, if you're that fucking uptight as a tattoo artist, you probably shouldn't be tattooing. If these fucking little, questions that you're going to hear a gazillion fucking times irritate you so much that you need to make a fucking video about it, then you should probably stop tattooing. And if you have tattoos and you're getting annoyed because somebody's asking you what they fucking mean or whatever, or did it hurt or whatever, then I don't know, fucking, why did you get a fucking tattoo? I mean, obviously you got it, I mean, I know that there are some people that get tattoos because they're, because of some fucking meaning or whatever. And usually the people that get those, they usually put them in areas that, that people can't see or don't normally see. Right. But if you've got fucking, if you're all sleeved up, or you got fucking tattoos on your neck or your face because you're a fucking idiot, obviously what you were going for was, I mean, maybe there was some fucking meaning there, but you were also going for, let me fucking show people, I don't know, that I fucking have tattoos or whatever. Like, you did it partly for fucking attention. So don't get fucking, all pissy when you actually get the thing that you were fucking searching for in the first place. I don't know, why am I such a fucking grouch? You know what it is? It's because I haven't had an opportunity to be fucking cunty on Twitter. So, well, I don't know. I mean, is this podcast really any different than the others? I'm always kind of a fucking grouch, so I don't know. Oh, did anybody fucking see that the those two players on the Dallas Cowboys, um, the fuck Dak Prescott, I think his last name is, and Ezekiel Elliott, they came out in defense of Jerry Jones, the owner, that is basically saying that that they're America's team, and and the players are not allowed to fucking you know take a knee during the fucking national anthem, and they're not allowed to fucking protest. These fucking two dipshits come out and in support of this guy. You know, and I like. I mean, it just so happens that that they have fucking sponsorship. Like you can tell when somebody is just completely fucking bought and paid for, because there's no, there's no logical reason that I can think of that any African American football player could possibly rationalize being penalized for protesting fucking police brutality and police killing people with with impunity. If you're trying to rationalize that that because it's your job, or or somehow disrespectful to the flag or some fucking horse shit, I don't get that. It's kind of like when you read those stories about how during slavery, right? There was the ones that were allowed to live in the fucking house with what they call it, the fucking master or whatever, and would actually fucking tell on other slaves and shit. What do they call it? Fucking Uncle Tom or whatever. I don't understand how can you be like that? Whoa, what the fuck? Sorry. There goes my fucking mic cord again. I cannot understand how you could act like that. Damn. Whoa, shit. Sorry about that. What the fuck? Hold on a second. I gotta fix this shit. Hold on. Alright, I don't know if that fixed it or not, so if it happens again, my apologies, but I don't get the mindset that you could possibly rationalize sticking up for a guy that has basically not made it illegal, because obviously he's not police or the judicial system, but is basically telling you that, hey, what happens to your people, I don't fucking give a shit about. I don't want to hear about it. All I want you to do is just go out there and fucking play the game and make me money. How can you rationalize that and stick up for that guy? It's fucking horrific. And I've said it a couple of times. The best way, if the players, especially the black players, but I would hope that there are some white and other nationality or ethnicity players that would stand with the African American players. If you guys just decided, you know what, fuck you, we're not gonna pay, or we're not gonna play the fucking game, the owners would change their fucking tune immediately, because they would stop making money. Realistically, without the black players, you don't really even have a fucking, you won't even have a team. You'll have some quarterbacks, a kicker, and some linesmen. You'll have that, but you won't have, wide receivers or running backs or tight ends or safeties. You won't have, you won't even be able to really, you wouldn't be able to field a team. If the black players decided, you know what, fuck you, we're not going to play. We're not going to play until you cut this fucking horse shit, until you quit acting like 9 years ago, the national anthem wasn't even part of the fucking NFL. It wasn't until, the reason that the national anthem and the fucking military and shit is all involved with the NFL now is because right after people decided that the war in Iraq was horse shit, enlistment into military dropped. So what they needed was a place to advertise that would, that would be seen by millions of fucking people. So they paid the NFL to be able to fucking advertise. And part of that advertisement is playing the national anthem and having the fucking planes fly over. It's all just a fucking marketing scheme. And the people that are falling for it, they're like, oh, you shouldn't fucking disrespect the anthem and blah, blah, blah. You're kind of a fucking idiot. All right. You don't even understand that, 9-10 years ago, that wasn't even part of the or not, maybe actually more than that. It might be, more than fucking 9 or 10 years ago, but it wasn't it wasn't always a part of the NFL. It only started to become a part of the NFL when recruitment numbers fucking dropped. And they couldn't get people to sign up to the military because nobody wanted to go fight some bullshit wars that, are really just about making a bunch of fucking rich yacht owning cunts a little bit more richer. Nobody, people decided they don't want to do that. So they come up with a fucking marketing scheme and you fell for it, hook, line, and fucking sinker. But, getting back to Elliott, what the fuck's his name? Or not Elliott, Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott. I know they're not listening, but they're, wow. You might as well just come out there and dance a jig and fucking I don't know. I don't even have words for why you would fucking do that. Why you would align yourself with the fucking person or the culture that is basically telling you what happens to your people doesn't fucking matter. And it especially doesn't matter when, you're on my dime. And you hear lots of people like, oh, well, why don't you do that on your fucking off time? Oh, really? So you're going to watch that? You're already fucking pissed about it, during your fucking football game. You're telling me that if they do it after the football game or on some other fucking day, you're going to be fucking wrapped with attention? You're not. You're not. This is the fucking, NFL. That is the fucking perfect time to do it because you do have people with rapt attention looking and observing and maybe being exposed to some shit that they don't really even know about. It's the perfect fucking time. This idea that you're supposed to protest when it's fucking convenient for everybody else. Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of fucking protesting? That would be like, well, that would be like if the Occupy Wall Street movement decided, you know what, we're not going to fucking take to the streets. We're not going to occupy any buildings. We're not going to cause any sort of disruptions whatsoever. We're all going to sit at like my buddy's house and fucking, and chant and protest there where nobody can fucking see it and nobody's inconvenienced. How fucking ridiculous of a person do you have to be to think that, like protesting should come when it's more fucking convenient? It always makes me fucking laugh about the people that are like, oh, they shut down the street. I had to sit in traffic for hours. Well, that was the fucking point. I know you're upset that you can't get home and watch fucking, reruns of Cheers or some shit. But the whole point of shutting down freeways and streets and shit, it's for a reason. It's to shut down commerce. That's how you fucking you're not going to have a successful protest if you're like, well, we'll only protest on fucking, every 3 weeks on a fucking Wednesday at, 11 o'clock at night. And, and we're not going to hold up traffic and, we're not really going to do anything other than just stand around. It's bewildering that people would take the stance of, well, you should protest on your own time when it comes to the NFL players. There is no better time than doing it then. And the fact that you're upset that they're doing it then lets them know that if they were to do it on their own fucking time, you sure as hell would not be tuning in. Because you're already pretty much indifferent to the whole reason that they're protesting in the first place. You know, they're not protesting the fucking military. They're not protesting the fucking flag. They're protesting being fucking brutalized and having, you know, their children fucking shot down. And the cops that do it, you know, pretty much just get a free fucking pass. A lot of them just go on paid fucking vacation, and then they come back and, you know, and they're right back to doing the same shit that got them there in the first fucking place. It's not about the goddamn flag or the military. In fact, I mean, I don't know if there's anybody out there that actually still hasn't heard this fucking thing, but the person that told Colin Kaepernick, who basically started this, was a fucking Army vet or a Marine or some shit. He was the one that said that would be the most patriotic to do. A military person told him that. So how was he disrespecting the military when the military was the one that was telling him to do it? And I've seen plenty of of people that are currently in the military or veterans that all fucking, you know, agree with the players taking a knee. So I don't, you know, I mean, I'm pretending like I don't know what your fucking problem is. You know, we all know what your actual problem is that you just do not give a shit about what happens to black people. And the only time that you really even give a shit, I think D.L. Hughley said this, the only time you really give a shit about what black people are doing is when they are entertaining you, whether they're singing, dancing, playing a fucking sport, you know, making you laugh. That's the only time that you pay any attention to the African American community. Anything beyond those, you're so fucking indifferent to. You know, it might not be racism, but it's definitely fucking indifference. You know, I mean, the weird thing is like, there's other examples of this sort of like, this weird shit, you know, going back to Ezekiel Elliott and fucking Dak. What a weird fucking name. I hope that's like short for something, because if your parents named you Dak, I'm pretty sure they don't like you. But you know, like another example of that is all the Jewish people here in the U.S. and also in Israel that are like, oh, you know, if you're not pro-Israel, that somehow you're anti-Semitic, even though the whole reason that people aren't pro-Israel is because of the way that they're treating the Palestinians. They basically have created apartheid in Israel. They are shooting innocent fucking people. They're killing kids. You know, they're shooting fucking medics. You know, there's all this fucking evidence showing the horrific shit that the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. And that's why people are upset. But the weird fucking thing is that you have these Jewish people that, you know, like before all of this, or before most people are aware of it, you know, they used to love to talk about like, oh, the Holocaust and Hitler and, oh, feel sorry for us. And then they turn around and are basically doing the same shit to the Palestinians. And they don't even see the hypocrisy. You know, like Roseanne, she was recently on fucking, I think Fox News or some shit, and she was talking about how, you know, because Roseanne used to be pretty much a socialist or a democratic socialist. You know, she was definitely on the left, But then she's talking on this fucking interview, and she's like, "Oh, the reason that I fucking changed my political views is because the people on the left are so intolerant of Israel." You know, just completely glossing over what they're actually intolerant of. That it has nothing to do with the fact that they're fucking Jewish, and just has everything to do with the fact that they are basically Nazis now. They've fucking completely like role reversed and decided that instead of being the ones marched to the fucking ovens or killed on the spot or whatever, they've decided they're going to do that to the Palestinians. And then if the Palestinians have the nerve to defend themselves, suddenly they're fucking terrorists. You know, it's mind-boggling that you would have anybody that, you know, that is Jewish, that loves to talk about, you know, how fucking horrific the Holocaust was. And I'm not saying it wasn't. I think it was fucking horrific. But it's weird to watch people that know what happened to them was fucking horrific, but are completely okay with you know, fucking Jewish people doing that to others. You know, it's almost like they've convinced themselves, well, you know, we went through all of that shit. It's our time. It's our turn to start fucking brutalizing and killing people for stupid fucking reasons. You know, watch, you know, there's plenty of fucking videos on YouTube where, you know, they do interviews of Israelis in Israel and ask them what their opinions are of Palestinians. And it's in line with fucking, you know, with the views of like the KKK that they have for black people or you know, or really some, I mean, if you've read any of the history on, you know, when Hitler was fucking around, you know, a lot of their I don't know, excuses for being fucking horrific. I mean, it's all very fucking similar. You know, just completely like dehumanize them, make it seem like they're fucking animals, you know, that they're, you know, even though they're the ones fucking killing them and brutalizing them, that somehow they're the ones that are the fucking problem. You know, it's unreal watching people do the mental gymnastics to fucking get behind what, you know, what's going on in Israel. And it's the same, you know, it's the same thing with African American, you know, NFL players that are getting behind fucking Jerry Jones or just the NFL commission in general, that are like, oh yeah, this is, you know, I'm paid to fucking, you know, to entertain these white people. And that's, you know, and I can't fucking, you know, I should never disrespect or never bite the hand that feeds me. You know, it's just, it's mind-boggling watching people do mental gymnastics to fucking validate their bullshit fucking opinion. And it needs to stop. Okay, I'll stop lecturing you guys. What else? What else do you guys want to fucking talk about? How about, depression? Anybody want to talk about that? I had to go to the doctors, not for anything fucking serious, just, you know, my not yearly, I do a fucking checkup every 6 months or so. And, one of the things that, I don't know, like, it kind of struck me, is because, you know, like, my doctor, she's really fucking nice. She's like a mixture between like a mother and a grandmother, right? You genuinely feel cared about, but she also has that sort of like grandmother wisdom. And, so, you know, I know that when she asks me, it's not because like it's some fucking training. It's because she has a legitimate concern for my well-being. And, you know, because I have OCD and been diagnosed with bipolar. You know, she asks me all the time, like, you know, like mentally, how do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel happy? You know, whatever, right? And I realized when she asked me, she wasn't really, I mean, I mean, okay, I think she would have taken whatever answer I've given her. But I've noticed this, not just with her, but with others, that when they ask you if you're happy or if you're feeling okay, and they know that you, have issues or whatever, they don't want to hear that you're not happy. Like there's a commercial, I see it all the fucking time, where the lady's like, I'm fucking on antidepressants and yet I'm still fucking depressed and I feel like I have to, fucking walk around with she has like a fucking piece of paper with a smiley face on it attached to a stick and shit. And she's like, I feel like I gotta walk around with this fucking fake face on. And for the longest time, I just thought like, what is this lady fucking bitching about, But then I was sitting there as she was asking me how I was feeling, and I was like, you know what, that's actually pretty fucking profound, because people don't really want to hear that you're not happy. They just want confirmation that you're okay, so therefore they don't have to worry about you. Yeah, there are some people that legitimately are concerned, and I feel like my doctor is legitimately concerned. But, I've noticed with other people, it's like they don't really want to hear that you're not doing well, And a lot of the times you'll, just from somebody that fucking, is rarely fucking happy. And I know that it's like, oh, really? Because you're such a fucking delight on this podcast. I know it's hard to fucking believe that I'm not usually happy, but I'm somebody that I'm not fucking unhappy. I'm not saying like I'm on the other spectrum of, it's just going to take one little thing to put me over the edge and then I'm going to put a fucking bullet in my noodle. No, it's nothing like that. I've never really ever, I've said this before in the podcast, I've never really been happy. Like, I don't even, like, the whole concept of being happy is kind of foreign to me. I know what it looks like, but I don't really know how it feels, because that's just, I know this, what a fucking downer this shit is, but let me get through it, like, I don't know. I've said it before. Like I said, I'm not sad. I'm not fucking mopey. I'm not one of these people that, I'm not sitting in my room fucking in the dark, contemplating fucking, whether or not, life is worth living, or, it's none of that. It's just, I've always sort of been sort of blah inside. You really wouldn't be able to tell. I mean, you can tell on this podcast that, I'm a grouchy fucking person, but like, just sort of my baseline mood or whatever, most people are just not aware of how I feel. And it's not because they don't care. It's because when you have this sort of shit, you get really good at sort of masking the despair, I guess. Although that's kind of a strong fucking word. I'm not fucking, I'm not in a state of despair. It's just, I don't know what happy feels like. I really don't, and I know that sounds fucking like bullshit, or it sounds like, absurd that, oh, how could you not know I don't know what that feels like. I wouldn't know it if I fucking had it. I know how to appear happy. I know all the right fucking social cues and shit that you're supposed to do to appear fucking happy, but I've never been happy. Actually, that's a lie. I've been happy when my kids were born. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I mean, there's maybe a few other times, but that's really the only time I've ever experienced what could be considered like joy. Other than that, it's usually just sort of, like if my happiness or my mood or whatever was like represented by the fucking machine that, when they're like checking your heartbeat and it's like beep beep beep, like for me it would just be flatline pretty much all the fucking time. Which, you know, I'm not saying that shit because I need you to feel sorry for me or I'm looking for fucking sympathy. Go fuck yourself. I'm fine. You know, it's just, you know, I don't know. I don't know what fucking happiness feels like. So as I'm sitting in the chair, you know, and my doctor is asking me like, oh, you know, are you happy? You know, do you feel like your medication is working? Yada, yada, yada. You know, and instead of, because I can see on her face, like, you know, like she wants to hear that, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm feeling good, or whatever. You know, I can see that that's what she wants to hear. Momo, did you fart? What is it with fucking dog farts? I swear they are the fucking worst. Jesus, what have you been eating? Ugh. See, I lost track of what I was fucking talking about. You know, yeah, so she's, you know, I'm sitting there and she wants, I can see it on her face, she wants to hear I'm happy. So I like, yeah, I feel good, I feel fine. And I realized as I fucking said that, I was like, oh, I get what that fucking commercial is about. Like this, you know, I mean, it's not like I didn't understand what she was saying or what the people on those fucking commercials are saying. It's just, you know, I mean, I'm typical just like anybody else. You like to think of yourself as, well, I'm nothing like that, or that's not me. But, you know, I realized like, yeah, that's pretty much me in a fucking nutshell. I'm walking around with the fucking paper happy face, you know, basically trying to make everybody else feel fucking, you know, feel okay. And I think that that's kind of what depression feels like from somebody that fucking has it or you know, that has those sort of fucking issues, right? You feel you know, like everything is sort of like you're like a fucking actor in your own fucking life. Right, performing for everybody else, so that, you know, that nobody really pays that much attention, like, oh, you know, like, what the hell's wrong with him or her or whatever. You know, it's just like, you know, let me just put on a fucking brave face or a happy face, make everybody else feel good, you know, even though on the inside it's like, you know, like I really just couldn't give a shit either way, you know. Oh, God, that was fucking dark, wasn't it? Well, you know, I don't know. I guess my PSA or whatever, you know, for people out there that have family members or friends or whatever that, you know, that, you know, like I mean, I think you can always sort of tell that something's not quite right. You know, they might be smiling, but you can kind of see it in their face, like it doesn't really seem like real. You know, if you have fucking people in your life that are like that, just, I'm not saying go fucking like, oh, are you okay? And you gotta, you know, you can be honest with me. I'm not saying do that, because that's fucking annoying as well. Just be a little bit more aware that these people might be just telling you what they think you want to hear. You know? And for the people out there to think like, oh, you know, you should just get over it, or you should just fucking think happy thoughts, that, you know, the few people left that fucking think, you know, everything's a fucking choice. You know, it isn't a fucking choice. People aren't choosing to be fucking depressed. They're not choosing to be fucking mopey. That's just how they are. And a lot of the times it's completely out of their fucking control. You know, a lot of the times it's weird fucking brain chemistry, and, you know, and you can't control how your fucking brain deals with shit, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. God, that was so fucking dark. I think I'm going to end the fucking podcast here, even though it's sort of ending on like a really fucking sad note. I didn't mean to fucking depress you if you're listening to this shit, okay? You know, I'm just talking about my fucking experience at the doctor's office. I don't know. Is there something else that I can fucking talk about quickly that might take people's minds off of this shit? Anybody see the story about I guess McDonald's in Canada serves some lady. I guess she ordered a coffee and she's pregnant. She ordered some coffee, and what she got was cleaning solution. And it was completely, you know, at least from what I've read, it was completely by accident that they were actually in the process of cleaning the machine. And I guess hoses got fucking crisscrossed or some shit. And she ended up being served a cup of fucking cleaning solution. I have to assume that before she fucking took a sip of it, she knew, like, you know, cleaning solution is pretty unmistakable. It does not smell like fucking coffee. It definitely doesn't taste like, I mean, I don't know what cleaning solution tastes like, but I imagine it doesn't taste like coffee. So I imagine that either, you know, that she smelled it before she took a sip, or she took a sip, got it in her mouth and was like, what the fuck is this shit, and spit it out. You know, it was 100% a fucking mistake. Yes, it shouldn't have fucking happened, but of course, you know, people are making a big fucking deal, like, oh, she's pregnant. Like, they just kept, like, repeating in the story, like, oh, she's a pregnant woman, you know, was served, blah, 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 and, you know, and yada, 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 and everybody, you know, and I get why everybody's upset, you know, because, yeah, it could have been a really fucked up situation. I think most people understand the ramifications of if she had ingested it, that it could have been you know, the outcome could have been fucking horrific. But, you know, you have to assume, unless she's just one of these people that, you know, doesn't have fucking taste buds and the ability to fucking smell or any of that shit, you have to assume that she was smart enough to, you know, not fucking drink it. And even though in the story it doesn't really clarify whether she actually drank some or not, of course, people are losing their shit, and they're so upset about the human error, and she deserves fucking retribution, and you know, and she should sue and all of that, you know, and it makes me fucking laugh that everybody's so upset that, you know, over this mistake, that, you know, that it was a fucking mistake. It was obvious a fucking mistake. That everybody's so upset about that, but completely just okay with the fact that they're eating shit. You know, fast food is shit. It's shitty fucking food. It lacks nutrition. It's filled with sugar and salt, and there's nothing good about fast food. Even the ones that are like, oh, we fucking will make the burger in front of you so you see what we're fucking doing. Yeah, those are a little bit better, but at the end of the fucking day, you're still eating shit. And it's funny that, you know, the people aren't upset about that. How about being upset that, you know, that McDonald's has been accused of putting fucking sawdust in their burgers to add more volume? You know, how about you know, every fucking couple of months you hear about the E. coli fucking scare because, you know, some tainted fucking broccoli or some shit, you know, got into the fucking food supply at a fast food restaurant, and, you know, and people are genuinely fucking concerned, but then they go right back to eating the shit. You know, I'm just saying your priorities are a little bit off. You know, you're focusing on something that was clearly a fucking accident that doesn't happen regularly. God damn it, Momo, what the fuck? Jesus. Dog farts are the fucking worst. Well, I don't know if they're the worst. They're pretty fucking bad. They're probably not the worst. But you know, you got your priorities mixed up if what you're upset about is the obvious mistake that is only, you know, that is you know, seems to have only happened one fucking time, versus, you know, the fact that every single day they're basically serving you up fucking heart attacks on bread, you know. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna end the fucking podcast here, because it's getting hard to breathe with my fucking dog farting over here. I don't know what the fuck he ate, but Jesus Christ. But anyway, this will probably be the one and only podcast this week, just like last week. Unless I can sneak one in, you should probably just expect to not hear from me again until next week. And if that's the case, I hope you are having a good week so far. And you have a fucking good week going forward and a fucking great weekend and all that other fucking horse shit, alright? Alright, take it easy, don't take any shit, and go fuck yourself. Peace.